Hello, my name is Taylor Kelty. This is my final for GAM218. I'm going to do a run through of the level and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to break down all the blueprints. Um, up here, there's about, I don't know, 8 or 9 different blueprints to go over. There's a lot. So I'm going to play through the level and then just break down all those. Let's see. And then I think it's F11, F12, F10, F11. There we go. Okie dokie. So we start here, this hallway. You can look around and see that there's a pirate. We press E at the pirate.
I miss my family.
He misses his family, implying that he's stuck here. You can also see some floating blocks around. Let's go explore. We see a crystal. There's a message up in the upper left that says press E. We zoom out and see that we're in a maze, and we just rotated one of the blocks. We also see another pirate over here.
I no longer wish to leave.
He no longer wishes to leave, implying that he's stuck here and he's staying for good. Floating block still. Let's go this way. We got another crystal. Now we can see that in the middle over here, there's a raised platform. We get on, we notice that nothing happens. We look around, see a floating block, and it falls. Now let's push that floating block. By the way, all these blocks could be hidden in much more intricate places, but saving this being a 1 hour long playthrough. Anyway, the light gets on here, or the block gets on here, the light turns on, and some smoke comes up, and the screen shakes. Let's take it off, light goes away, screen shakes again, put it back on. We want to keep the light on, if anything, just for curiosity's sake. So let's keep exploring. Another floating block. Another drill. Talk to this guy.
I have not given up.
He says he has not given up, implying that he's trying to find the exit. And we can get a little glimpse of the exit over there. Anyway, floating block. Let's. Bam, there we go. Let's push this on there. And now, again, just for the sake of brevity, I'm going to show you that when we get this on, the screen shakes. Oh, I forgot. It doesn't zoom out when the block gets on there. But let's go back. When we get to the next crystal that zooms out, I'm going to show you what these blocks have been doing. And they are zooming in. They're zooming in floor panels from outside into walkway view. There we go. We're good. Now let's take this. So you can see now there's 3 panels that have slid into place. If you notice from before, if you go back, those 3 panels are not in the right place. So we're going to do this long run to the finish line where it all ties together.
Shiver me timbers, a tree.
And that's all. That's it, folks. Now we're going to close out. There's going to be some errors. I'll show you where those are coming from. They are coming from, well, it's just going to be easiest to show you. Let's see, F11 to get out. Now let's break these down. Corner rotator. So we are going to be starting with some custom events. Oh, we have event begin play, which establishes the player variable is the player playing, and then we're going to stop this piece. It is the corner section of the map. We're going to stop it from rotating. Then we have a custom event called activate, which plays a warp sound. It's that kind of high pitch, like swing. Plays that, and then it calls for the custom event start rotating, which fires off of the rotating component up here. And I'm recalling that a couple times actually for start and stop. When it starts rotating, we shoot the camera up to the sky so the player can see what's going on. It rotates, it delays for 2.6 seconds, which is how long it takes at its speed to rotate 90 degrees. That took a lot of trial and error. Stops rotating, sends the camera back to the player. And let's see, where is the. Oh, wait, nope. Yeah, that's the custom event. And then start rotating and stop rotating are in their macros. So let's see. Let's come out here. I'll show you the macros. Start rotating. Pretty simple. If it's not rotating at all, if the rotation rate is zero, then start rotating. And then stop rotating is just set it to zero. And let's see, we also have is player. I know that we're going to use this again later. We also have is player looking at it, which is this whole trigonometry nightmare. And then we have this vector between one. Now let's go to the cubes. I believe that these cubes have, yeah, no events. What I did was I actually made these. I made, oh, again, my mouse is not cooperating. Anyway, those floating cubes, those were the chamfer cubes. I made them in a blueprint so that I can call them in these cube slots. This is another Where's Waldo. So let's see, starting at the top, we have event begin play. The player is the player. Tick tick disabled. Now we have event begin overlap. First, we are going to check to see if it's the third person. I could have used the is player, but I used it somewhere else. If it is the player in there, then the tick is enabled. Otherwise, we're going to check to see if the thing that's overlapping it is the cube. If it's the cube in that spot, it's going to activate. It's going to activate the platform to activate, which slides it into place over there at the end. And it turns a light on, and then the screen shakes. Same thing where if it is, or sorry, when the end overlap happens, the inverse of all of it happens. So it disables the tick, and it deactivates the platform and turns the light off. The screen still shakes either way. Now, the big mama jamma of it is the event tick. This is for is the player looking at the cube? Are they still looking at it? And we're going to turn the physics on for the cube. That drops the cube down. We have this cutscene trigger, pretty standard. It turns a level sequence into a level sequence player, and then you can call in a custom event to play that level sequence. We have the Hall rotator, which again, the same beginning. The player is the player, stop rotating. Now, this is one of the final big interesting blueprints I have. The custom activation, it plays the warp sound, starts rotating, shoots the camera up to the sky, delays it, stops rotating. Oh, never mind. The big one is actually coming up in a little bit. Hallway trigger, here it is. Player, the actor overlap, is it the player? If it is, then you're going to enable the input and press the string that says press E. End overlap, it's going to disable the input. When you press E, here's where it's a little, yes. When you press E, we check to see if the player is in front of the crystal. That's with the function that I have. It's in here. Go back to the event graph. Checks if the player is in front. If they are, then it activates the hallway trigger, and then the hallway trigger, or then it's going to check and see if the tree switch count is at 3. And I'll show you how all that works in a second. When the switch count of the tree is at 3, it's going to play the cutscene, and then it's going to destroy all of the text bubbles, because after the pirate runs across the path to the tree, otherwise you would still be able to stand where he was and talk to him. So this is for destroying all the text actors. I figured I just like the idea of none of the other pirates will talk to you after you helped one of them escape. So let's see. Before I forget, let's do the tree. I believe the tree is in the tree switch count. Yep, here it is. So when the light switch turns on, it's going to go through a sequence of it's going to set the intensity of the light to 100. Then it's going to set the tree switch count +1. Then it's going to make the explosion, and then it's going to play the sound of just some machines locking in place. It's machine gun reload, but it sounds like a chick chick, and it lets you know that some machinery has gone on. The event begin play. It sets the light to 0. Originally, I had this play the custom turn off function, which is down here, but I'll show you down here why that actually made me have a bunch of issues. So when it calls the turn off, it's going to set the intensity to 0, but it's also going to set the tree switch count to -1. So when you knock a block off of the pressure plate, it turns the light off, but that light turning on and off is what told the tree whether or not you've done it 3 times or 2 times or 1 time or 0 times. So event begin play, it kept setting it below 0. It kept knocking it down to like -3. So it never got up to 3. So I had to just skip the turn off and just have it only do set intensity to 0. That drove me crazy trying to figure out why it wasn't working. The platforms to unlock, they use a timeline, getting the old place, the new place, establishing what the old place is, and then moving to the new place. That is these 3 right here, these 3 in that diagonal pattern. And those 3 are what slide into place to make this path. These 2 floaters over here, they're invisible. They were just there for just development. I kept them invisible just in case I needed them nearby. I could look at them again later, or get them if I needed to. Anyway, now we also have the text triggers. This is pretty simple. Let me show you where these are. Text triggers. These are all next to all the pirates. They each have their own. If it's the player overlapping, then it's going to say press E at the top. Otherwise, it's going to press the press nothing is nothing over here. Again, disabling input if they leave and it says nothing, and then enabling input if it says to press E. That way they know to press E and they can. The tree does nothing except establishes its own count as 0. And we have the trigger rotation. I believe this is pretty generic. Oh yeah, this is for when you approach the crystals. I'll show you. Trigger rotations. When you approach these crystals, it checks if you're the player. It enables input. It says press E in the corner. And when you press E, it rotates the actor to rotate, which is the corner part of the map. Same for end overlap, disables the input. I believe that's everything. Let me see. I think I went through my macros. I did. Let's look at all of my cutscene components. Here's that tab again. Cutscene. I think I put cutscene. It's not a blueprint, is it? No. Cinematic. I don't think I really need to. Oh, cinematic sequence root. Here it is. Sound it plays, the pirate walking, all the different beats for where the camera is supposed to go. Pirate just runs in a straight line towards it. Let's see how. I think that is probably everything. Obviously, there's new assets and stuff. I changed the sky color to give it all kind of a dreary, you're locked in a maze world. These pirates have given up hope trying to get out, except for the one that you help get to a tree. I think that's everything. So anyway, thank you for watching. My name is Taylor Kelty, and this has been my final for GAM218.